Audience member number 1.
Audience member number 2. Audience member number 3.
Alright, hello guys, it's Molly here again. Have any of you ever seen someone that you thought could use some help or that you knew was in a bad situation? And have you ever wanted to help them out? Well, there are a couple ways that you can go about helping those in need, but I've chosen to share 3 of them with you guys today. And they would be retirement homes, homeless shelters, and soup kitchens. There are millions upon millions of them all around the world, tons of them in the States, and probably at least one in each of your towns. In bigger cities, there's obviously going to be more, but in my town, I know we at least had one of each. So why would you want to do that, you may ask? Why would you want to help volunteer? Well, it does good for the community, which is always a plus. Helping, people in your town, in your community, helps bring the whole group of people together. It helps those that would otherwise go without. It helps change your morals, makes you more thankful for what you have, allows you to count your blessings, and lastly, it helps changes people's lives for the better. And if you had the chance to change somebody's life, wouldn't you want to do that? And what if it were you? Wouldn't you want to help somebody and make their lives better? So my goal overall is to encourage you guys to want to help and kind of feel obligated to help, but at least want to get involved in your community and help these people. My personal experience with all 3 of them, I've actually volunteered at 2 retirement homes, 1 homeless shelter, and 3 soup kitchens, which sounds kind of a lot, but it's actually, every moment of it has been worthwhile, and I have never regretted ever doing it. The one retirement home in my town was called Meadow Haven. I helped there a lot, just hanging out with the elderly and doing games with them and, talking to them. And then the other one that I helped at was called Brethren Village, and it was actually, my grandma actually worked there, so me and my cousin would volunteer part-time to just hang out with them, and it was over the summer, so we could spend a lot of time there and spend some time with our grandma. And it was actually really fun because we got to do a lot of random stuff because my grandma was in charge of the entertainment for them. So we ended up doing fashion shows and just a bunch of random fun stuff, and everybody really had a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend doing that because it was a lot of fun. One reason that you should feel like you want to help out in retirement homes is that the elderly have been taking care of us for years. If you think about it, everybody in a retirement home has been a father, a mother, a grandparent, a great uncle or aunt, an aunt. They're our family members, and they've been taking care of us since we were little, so why not repay the favor? And then also, a lot of people in retirement homes are veterans, and they might have disabilities that they got from fighting in wars for our freedom. So it's another thing that should make you feel like you want to help them, because they've been helping us our entire lives without us even knowing about it. So it's really nice to repay them, and also it's a great way to get a window to the past. There's no such thing as time machines, but it's a great way to learn the history and what life was like in their time period. That sounds really bad, but back in their time period without having to go through a textbook, which probably won't have the same effect as talking to them one-on-one. So also, retirees need fun and friends too, just like us. A lot of the times it's lonely and boring in the homes, and they're stuck in the same building day after day for the most part. there's only so many things that they can do for entertainment, even in good homes. Like the one that my grandmother worked at, they had, arts and craft centers, they had restaurants, they had like games and entertainment that my grandmother would do for them, but it still wasn't the same, and there's only so much of that stuff that you can do before you get really, really bored. And obviously the residents miss their families because a lot of the time they're put in homes that are farther away from their families, and they miss being able to do stuff with them every day. And if you can imagine, you spend all your time, say, with your granddaughter or something, and then you go to a retirement home, and now you only see her every couple days, and it would not be fun at all. So you can understand how they would get frustrated. Then another reason why you should want to help them is that most seniors in homes need a lot of medical attention, and there's actually in some homes, most homes, they have certain floors for each progressing level of needing attention and special care. I know in my grandmother's, the one that she worked at, the 5th floor was for the most pressing cases, like the most important, like dementia patients, just people that couldn't necessarily care for themselves. They might have a hard time doing things for themselves, a hard time moving, hard time functioning, eating, and some are even under constant supervision, like I was talking about the 5th floor. So the staff can be pretty busy caring for them and might not neglect, but they might not have as much time for the other patients that don't necessarily need as much care but still deserve to have the attention. So that's why it's good for volunteers, because they can go and help these people and also help the staff, because the staff gets pretty busy. But also there's a lot of people with disabilities and diseases, and I actually have a chart for you guys. In retirement homes, the elderly, I don't know, you guys can see it, but the people watching online, as you can see, a large portion, 60% of elderly people in retirement homes have Alzheimer's disease. And so that's a really, really, really big chunk of people. And then there's also cardiovascular disease, Lewy body disease, and frontotemporal dementia, which I was talking about earlier with the 5th floor. So all of these can be pretty debilitating, and so obviously they're going to need a lot of special care, and it's a lot harder for them to be away from people that care about them. So another group that has a lot of different people that house different people that may have diseases are homeless shelters. But what might surprise you is the amount of children in homeless shelters. 1 out of 30 kids are homeless in the United States, which is a huge number, which brings me to my second chart. You guys can see it. This is a chart of childhood homelessness in the United States. As you can see, the blue are the ones with the most. And so down in the South is where homelessness is really an issue. So if you live in the South, that's even more of a reason to want to help out. These kids grow up with nothing. They have hardly any friends and obviously no family to help them, and they're living on the streets. They have no luxuries. They don't have toys or games or cell phones, and in a day and age where cell phones, Xbox, everything like that is such a huge thing with younger generations, these kids don't have anything. Homeless shelters can provide them with the things that they want and need, and it gives them a place that they can call home. Most homeless people don't have that. They don't have a place to call home. Holiday seasons can be especially rough. I know it's getting close to Christmas, so seeing everybody with their friends and family can be pretty rough for homeless people. They live nomadically, which means like they're constantly traveling around. They don't have any place to stay put, and due to the law and stuff like that, they don't really have any true place to call home. And they're in need of caring people to help their situation. And soup kitchens are those people. They're the people that help. They help feed the hungry. They serve a variety of dishes, not just soup. Depending on the day, season, holiday, anything like that. Thanksgiving, they're obviously going to serve turkey dinner. It's great for families and people with children that aren't able to provide for them. And many of them are actually linked to homeless shelters for housing. They also impact the community. They help people get involved with the project and help everybody come together through the hard times and help them support each other, which is something really big. They can be also used as fundraisers to raise for homeless shelters and etc. for them, and they bring a lot of happiness to the community. So in conclusion, not only does volunteering help those in need, but it also helps yourself, and it makes you more thankful and lets you count your lucky stars for what you have, and it becomes addicting in a way because you just keep wanting to help. The more you see people struggling, the more it makes you want to help. And so I really hope that you guys can find it in your hearts to volunteer in one of these millions of places, and hopefully you'll be able to impact your town and help out. So, thanks. Any questions?
How do I get involved in any of these if I want to be a volunteer?
If you want to be a volunteer, personally, in my situation, I had my grandma, she kind of just helped me along. And the other one, they were looking for volunteers. So, if you go to any of these places, they're going to say, we're looking for a volunteer or somebody to work part-time or something like that. But, and if you're religious, a lot of churches do stuff. That's how I was involved with soup kitchens, because my church would do it all the time. But you can go to any of these places and just ask, if you need help. But that's my knowledge of it. But
All right, thank you.
any other questions? No? No? All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope that you guys decide to help those in need this holiday season.